Hello, this is Kinetic, and welcome to my channel. Today's artwork is loosely inspired by a piece I saw on a show called Power. This is a Z Gallery piece called the Bilbao Mirror. It retails for $399. Here is a look at it up close. Of course, these mirrors are much larger than the ones I'm going to use in this video. So for our materials, we will need E6000 glue. We also need these mirrors, which I collected from Dollar Tree over time. You may not find them all at once. I also have this black matte spray paint. I have this Jenga-like puzzle piece from Dollar Tree. Hobby Lobby had a sale on these 1-inch mirrors, and I also bought command strips. I always have a 40% coupon, and you can use it anytime you go there. These words that say welcome, one says thankful, I found in the holiday section of Dollar Tree. Maybe we're going to incorporate them in, and maybe we won't, but I thought they were really pretty and neat. So here is our foam board. I opted to get the black foam board because I didn't want the white showing through with the mirrors. In hindsight, I feel like I should have covered the entire board with mirrors. But as we go through this, you'll see that I made so many mistakes. Anyway, like I said, I collected these mirrors at different times. The larger mirror, that set of mirrors I bought well over 2 years ago, and it was just sitting in my garage. They're actually beveled. They're a much nicer mirror, and I guess Dollar Tree switched to a more efficient mirror. It's not as expensive for them, I guess. And so the new ones are slightly smaller, and they don't have the beveled edges. Now, what I'm gonna do first is I want to just set up the board how I want it to look. So this is gonna be my base. And like I said, in hindsight, I probably should have just went ahead and just covered the whole board, but this is how I set it up. So I'm gonna take my puzzle pieces, they're kind of out of focus, but I'm gonna take that Jenga like the puzzle pieces, and that's what I'm gonna use to create my 3D effect. So here we have it. This is our base, and now I'm going to start adding the second layer. As I said before, I think it would have been better for me to cover the entire board, but I was, making sure I had enough mirrors, and, my mistakes are going to help you make the perfect piece. So, yeah, there's always a better way. I just enjoy doing these projects, and let me say that I'm a creative person, and when I don't have a project, whoa, the cuckoo starts coming out. But anyway, this was really fun, and I really was inspired by this piece, and I think it's gonna look amazing. So I'm just continuing to build my second layer. As you can see, I'm not gluing anything. I just wanna make sure that I have my pattern. So that's my second layer. I'm going to use my spray paint now, and this is where the puzzle pieces come in. And now our puzzle pieces are black, just like the foam board, and we're going to use those to create our 3D effect. So these will get glued directly to the foam board, and then we will glue mirrors onto them. So the first puzzle piece is in place. And I apologize, but that mirror was slightly out of frame. I'm going to show you a couple more, and then I'm going to speed up this video because we don't want to be here for no hour, child. So this time I'm going to use 2 puzzle pieces, and I'm going to stand that what I consider to be vertical, so it will make that mirror sit up just slightly higher than the first one. Again, the whole goal is to create this 3D effect. So I pulled the camera down so you can see what I mean by the 3D effect. By using those puzzle pieces, I can create different layers, even on top of the pre-existing layers that I put down first. Now that we have 3 layers, I'm gonna grab our 1-inch mirrors from Hobby Lobby so that we can add more depth to our piece. And again, you can use at Hobby Lobby the 40% off coupon. You can always open it on your phone in Google And these were $2.88, and I think I got them for under $2. Oops. Yeah, well, that happens. But at least we can test it out. It's not glued down yet. Oh my God, my face looks so distorted in those mirrors. And there's the word that we got from Dollar Tree. So, oh my God, I'm so goofy sometimes. But I wanted to see how the word would look in the middle of the mirrors. I don't know. At one point I really liked it, and then I was just like, no, and then I don't know. We'll see. So from this angle, I discovered a little bit of spray paint on the mirrors that I told you I had in the garage for a while. So that's something we have to address before we put the piece together. I will also say it was difficult to clean the piece after it was all put together. So I would even advise wearing gloves. This will help keep the mirrors clean while you work on your project. Before we start gluing our piece down, I'm going to clean those mirrors, the ones that have the spray paint. I'm using pure acetone, and I do have a scraper, or you can use a razor blade. Please be careful. Of course, it would be easier to just go out and buy artwork and hang it on your wall, but there's no better feeling than walking by that piece and knowing your hands created it, or on your tablescape. And I think in this world where loneliness and depression and anxiety are chasing many people, I think creativity is the answer to that. It really gets the blood flowing, it really gets your brain moving, and aside from that, you have this piece that you can see over and over again and bring that same joy to your world. So here I had to use a scraper for some of the rougher parts where I couldn't get all of the paint off. Just be careful and watch your fingers. It also will help with getting excess glue when your project is finished. So we're all cleaned up and ready to glue our mirrors directly to our foam board. And we're going to use that same pattern that we practiced before. If you don't think you're going to remember it, take a picture with your cell phone. Or maybe you can just draw it out. But this pattern was pretty easy, so I didn't have to, revisit it. So we're ready to glue our second layer, and here's where I encountered problems with those tabs. I honestly didn't discover the problem until I started on my third layer. So here you see I have everything in place, and I'm using these fruit and the puzzle pieces, a tool to just weigh everything down and make sure nothing moves while it dries for 24 hours. What ended up happening is on the third layer, I started noticing that the second layer of mirrors was kind of sliding around it, and I didn't know why. But what happened is, although the tabs were glued onto the mirrors or onto the foam board, those tabs began to come off, and it made the mirrors start sliding around. And this was really frustrating for me because I was already on the third layer and now the second layer sliding around. So I had to reach in between mirrors and behind mirrors, and it just became frustrating. But finally I got it done. And thanks to this egg and grapefruit diet, I had plenty of weights to use to hold these mirrors down for 24 hours. So here we have an up-close view of our layers. And as I said in the beginning of the video, I think it would have served me better to cover the entire foam board with mirrors so I wouldn't be able to see these little areas where the foam board is coming through on the project. I'm gonna go back and cover it, but it would have been better if I covered it in the beginning. Also, I'm not sure if I want to use this welcome sign or even the thank you sign, perhaps nothing at all, but after all these sliding mirrors, honey, I can't even think about that. The thing is, I didn't discover till the third layer that the second layer was moving. So when I had to do repairs, I had to go between the mirrors, behind the mirrors. So it made it a little more difficult to re-glue those pieces. So another thing that happened and made this project a little difficult was this E6000, which is the fine tip. I don't know if that's why, but it would not stop oozing out of the tube. And so it was creating a mess for me when I'm trying to keep up with it. And it just would not stop. Even when I put the top on, it made a mess all over the counter. So that's another project, honey. But anyway, so it would not stop oozing. I did try to put it in a bowl and use a chopstick to apply it. I tried putting it on a plate. In the end, that was the second issue. But honey, hallelujah, we're all glued down and we're going to just wait for our glue to dry for the next 24 hours. And here we are with our final project. This is our 3D mirror. Honey, this is $399 on Z Gallery, but I made it with 42 mirrors, and in all, I spent $45. Of course, I went to different Dollar Trees to get these mirrors. You can order them online or you can check out Michael's, but this is how I did my project and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. You can see my dog walking around in the background, but this is how it turned out and I'm super happy about it and I'm glad I was able to do it myself, and every time I see it, I'm just gonna fall in love all over again. By the way, if you like the music in the background, it's me. You can check out my album on iTunes. It's called The Problem with Love by the KineticSoul. Bye-bye.